Hello, everyone. Hello to all my donors, both named and anonymous. Hello to anyone who prayed for me or sent positive vibes my way. And hello to anyone just following the story and is concerned for me, or to anyone here for the first time. My name is Jacob Krog. I was involved in a serious accident at work, and I want to give a status update on my current condition, recap what happened with the accident and with the procedures at the hospital, and to thank everyone from the bottom of my heart for forgiving and being so generous to me in the wake of this accident. So I'm a Wisconsin-born native, Michigan transplant. I was a traveling wind turbine technician, and my work brought me all over the country. Most recently, it brought me to Michigan. And while I was here, I met the most wonderful people and the most wonderful woman who would become my fiance. So I stayed in Michigan and moved to the Detroit area to pursue different work and to be with her. While I was working, I was on a ladder cleaning out the gutters. I do window and gutter cleaning, and I was cleaning out the gutters of a particularly nasty, tall garage, and I was over concrete. And everyone's always looking for a big fancy story, like, what happened, man? Give me the details. Like, what? I fell. I was working off the ladder. It shifted, and it continued to shift. It didn't stop shifting, and I went down with the ladder. So this is kind of where my story begins. So I fall down with the ladder, smack, hit the ground really hard, long fall right onto concrete. And I look over at my right hand, and we'll talk about what this is in just a minute here. And my hand is off my wrist. It's there, but it's completely off. And so that's, I'm a pretty calm guy, and I've been in some intense situations, but I've never been injured like that before. So right away I start getting worked up about it. But I'm conscious. I'm conscious the whole time, which is the first miracle. And I'm going to talk a lot about the miracles that happened during this, because it's a severe accident, and you can look at just that part of it, or you can look at how miraculous it is that I got through this thing the way I did. So I fell, hit the ground, arm snapped. Like, I'm fully conscious and aware that I'm in a rough spot. Like, I've got some serious injuries. But I'm alert, so I can yell for help. I'm yelling for help. I didn't lose consciousness. So the first person that responds very quickly, by the way, was the neighbor of the client where we were working at. And it's a sports medicine doctor. So she comes running over. This is before my eyes swelled shut. I could look down and see her because I couldn't move. I was just staying still. I looked down and I see her bolting across. She hears me scream and yelling for help. And she comes over and she stabilizes my neck. She calms me down. She's like, no, don't look at your hand. Don't look at your, just calm down. Tell me your name. So that was the second miracle, is the first person on the scene was a sports medicine doctor. And then right away, I hear the ambulance. I hear the EMTs. They're coming like right away. I thought I was out in the country, but the EMT response time was fast, crazy fast. And so that was the third miracle. And I was sitting there like, oh man, I'm all busted up. I don't know what to do. She's like, just stay calm. The EMTs are on the way. And I just put it in God's hands at that point and just relaxed and listened to her. So they took me, they put me in the ambulance and a little shaky ride over to Henry Ford Macomb to the trauma center. And I was in the hospital for 8 days. So my injuries are, I had a compound fracture of the right wrist, which is why I have this lovely external fixator. I had a shattered left elbow over here, and that's where that scar's from. Multiple facial fractures, both eye sockets. I've got a big fracture right here, scar right there, multiple facial fractures, and then brain bleeding or epidermal hematomas, and then severe bruising and scrapes and cuts all over my body. So the first thing they needed to do was they needed to determine that the severity of the brain bleeds, because they couldn't proceed with any operations without doing that first. So I had about 15 CAT scans where I'm got my hand hanging off. I'm in a really severe situation, and they got to get these CAT scans done. They're like, sit still, and I'm basically fresh off the accident site, and then they're doing these necessary CAT scans to make sure my brain bleeds are small enough to where they can proceed with operations on my wrist and my elbow, which desperately needs surgery right away. It is determined that they were small enough to proceed with operations is after taking about 15 CAT scans, because I can't sit still even though I want to. But they finally get it done. I finally keep still enough, and so I'm able to get the procedures done. And I just paused there for a second because I was thinking I fully believe that it was the prayers that kept the brain bleed in check. And if it wasn't for the prayers, if it wasn't for God's grace, then allegedly the brain bleeds would have been too serious, and they would have had to perform surgery on that before they could fix my hand. It's just a miraculous turn of events, just a miracle. And so I'm in the hospital for 8 days, and I get 2 procedures done on my right wrist, 2 surgeries, one to debraid, clean, and install the fixator and put my hand back on, and a second one to do additional debraiding and cleaning because it was very, very dirty. And then I had a surgery on my left elbow. It was shattered, on my shattered left elbow. The facial fractures determined that they'll heal on their own. Plastic surgery didn't need to get involved. Amazing. So I'm released 8 days later, and my current condition, I've been out of the hospital for 4 weeks. Recovery's going good. The doctors, especially the orthopedic surgeon, is happy with the progress I'm making. I'm getting wonderful care from people I love the most, and I'm in occupational therapy, working on getting range of motion back, mostly in this elbow, but also in the hand over here. And then I'll be doing more work with that once I get the fixator off, which I'll be getting off next week. And then I'll be able to start working on range of motion with my wrist and my fingers on my right hand. I've already been doing that on my left elbow. So to everyone who gave anything, whether it was money, whether you sent prayers or positive vibes my way, or just genuinely concerned, you sent me a text, a phone call, called a family member, like, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Through the grace of God and the generosity of my fellow man, I've really just been taken care of after this incident, and it uplifted my spirits in a time that I really needed it. Thank you.